right, so thank you for tuning in. You're watching the Arizona Breakdown. My name is Andre.
What's up? I'm Ryan.
And today we are joined by the guys in Beyond Our Suffering. Hell yeah, let's have everybody go around and introduce themselves and what they play.
I'm AJ, I scream.
I'm Alex, I play guitar.
I'm Dawson, I play the bass.
Hell yeah, and how you guys doing today?
Doing good,
We
man.
doing.
That's what we like to say in our band. We doing.
We doing, okay, all right. I like that. I'm going to have to pick that up. So let's just start it off by just... Y'all got some shout-outs from fucking Brand of Sacrifice.
My nipples have never been more erect. Sorry. I'm
I
going to
thought I
start
was
off with that.
dreaming when that happened. I was in the pit during Brand of Sacrifice when that happened, and like just everyone around me was like, "Did that just happen?" And I was like, "I don't know what happened."
Our guitarist and I, we were up front, and they said that, and we are just like, that's us! We're them! That's us!
Roman from Malnourished was like, "Yo!" And I was like, "Oh my god, what?"
So for anybody, for anybody who doesn't know what happened, give them a quick rundown of what happened.
So we opened up for Rings of Saturn, and we were really, really stoked because like that's just a sick lineup, and like just being, we felt like the odd band out because we were lighter than everybody else. Like we don't fit in the deathcore scene. I don't feel like, and I was like very, very excited to play with Brand of Sacrifice that I went and covered an Eclipse, and Liam from Brand of Sacrifice commented on it, and Kyle Anderson commented on it.
Hell yeah.
Off Anthony's profile. And I was like, ooh, sick. And so like when we played the show, I was trying to like not be, like fangirling, Like,
Man, it was hard.
it was super hard.
But you still did.
Afterwards, yeah. But like after our set, like they, took stage, and then like after their first song, it was straight up like, "Oh, hey, shout out to Beyond Our Suffering," and we're like, "What the fuck,
Dude,
Like,
hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy."
Yeah, that's definitely a band we've been looking up to for like a hot minute.
Yeah.
So,
Dude,
sure.
yeah.
It's really cool.
I mean, Brand of Sacrifice is, whew,
Yeah.
especially for anybody who gets the Berserk reference. Like, god damn.
Everything, they just hit it on the head. And you're like,
Yeah, dude. Like I saw the name and I was like, no, there's no way. And then I see the song list and I'm like, oh my god, it's about motherfucking Berserk.
you see like the artwork and everything, and you're like, it's just one of those $1 million ideas that you're like, how did I not have
Yeah,
that?
how did nobody have this idea
Yeah.
before?
Jeez.
But yeah, that is fucking sick that you guys got that shout out.
It's
Like,
fucking rad, man.
you guys have been on a very uphill journey recently, though. Like,
I guess, yeah.
fucking, I mean, we've had 2 guests in prior who have already shout you guys out, so that's
Damn.
why it's
Thanks.
very, very exciting to have you guys on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited to be here, man. Just like,
It's been a fun year.
yeah, like, and it's still our first like year.
Yeah, like,
it's-
we started
we're
in
not
May.
even at a year
Yeah.
yet, so it's
Damn.
really fucking cool. Like, we've been active since May, like starting to play.
I guess in the eyes of everyone.
Not even
yeah.
a year, so
God damn,
That's
this
why we're
is
like,
true, yeah. Dude, you guys have been getting some goddamn traction. Like,
I guess so. Yeah.
fuck, good job, and it's very well deserved.
Thank
you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Has that been like a pretty big conscious effort, or was it just something that happened naturally? Like you didn't expect it to?
We didn't expect to have like just shout outs or like anything like that. Like we've played with previous bands before and whatnot, and I think we just were like, we want to make this click. We want this to actually get
Like,
us.
this is it,
Yeah.
or this is done.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
It's like a make it or break it thing.
yeah. And I think with all of us having that collective mindset, it just wants us, like, we want to have it that much more. You know what I mean? Instead of just, I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, we'll shoot around and, like, just stick around as much as the next guy. But it's like, we treat it as a business.
Yeah.
At the same time, as long as our passion. So,
Yeah, the
Very
goal's
cool.
to make it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's helped out a lot. We didn't think, I mean, we're like nowhere near our end goal, obviously, but like, yeah, just
getting started.
from May to here, we didn't think we were going to be here.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's got to make it a lot easier.
yeah.
Like looking forward, it's like, okay, well, there's something. Yeah.
And
That's
I mean,
awesome.
yeah, there has been insane growth, and it is, like I said, very well deserved. You guys had mentioned kind of not feeling like you guys fit in as far as like that is that specific lineup, or just like so far with the shows that you guys have played, like
With that specific lineup, like Kim just gave us that offer, like, oh hey, we'd like to try you guys out with this, and we were like, okay. Like, we like a lot of those bands on that bill, so it's like it was really cool, and like it was going to be the first time we played Club Red, and
hell yeah.
like it was just a great opportunity and like a bigger stage. Like are used to playing pub rock, so it was just a different crowd, different like atmosphere. So it was really really cool.
And how was the crowd reaction to you guys?
Man, that was sick, dude. We had we had people moshing, people were getting down. It was like, I know they haven't heard any of our shit before. Like, I share our songs, but let's be real. Like, who's clicking? And so it was super cool just to see that crowd reaction. Like, you know, our guitarist would like throw up horns and everyone throws it up. And it was just like such a sick feeling, man. People were like cheering. Alex would play a solo and everyone's like doing the fingers, and like you just know you're sitting there like a proud dad. You're like,
Yeah.
Grow up so fast.
yeah. So it's been fun, but I guess back to like where we fit in, like for that show, but I feel like it's also been like for a lot of our shows because it's like what's really I guess dominant right now in the scene is like deathcore, obviously, which I mean like it's fucking sick, but like we're. I don't know, Alex, you want to take the puck on that? You can explain
I mean,
better.
I guess we kind of feel like we're the odd one out. What we're trying to do is like a little bit different, from what we see and hear. And I don't know. I guess that's just how we kind of perceive ourselves. I mean, we do hear, we have good feedback and that is great. But at the same time, like we're not trying to be different. We're just trying to be like something, a combination of all of our influences that's like, just trying to make it unique, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, by all means, though, that's a good thing, though. Like, I feel like you should feel like you stand out at almost every show, though. That you should not necessarily fit in exactly with the lineup, because at that point, you might as well just be the same band on the roster twice.
That's fair.
Like, so, because I mean, Dead World isn't that like we're not super experienced or anything of that nature, but we generally feel like we're relatively different from the majority of shows we play, and yeah, it's never a bad thing. Like we love the way we sound, and that's a good marker of loving your own sound.
Yeah,
So like own that shit. Like,
Definitely.
you
Like, we
guys
haven't heard anything really like too bad. So,
Yeah, dude, and fucking just all of you guys are extremely talented when it comes to each of your respective instruments. So, like, how has the writing process been so far?
I knew that.
You're looking at him.
He's the creative mindset. For
Well,
sure.
well, I mean, like since I play guitar, primarily at the moment, writing starts with guitars. It'll start with the riff. Riff will turn into multiple riffs. It'll turn into an arrangement. From there, pretty much I write generally the entire song guitar first. And when I'm doing that, I can just hear everything in my head. I hear the drums. I hear the, most of the vocal lines. I hear, the bass, which complements the guitar. And then from there, we just kind of work. Our guitarist likes us to program it into Guitar Pro.
That's me too.
And it's not my favorite thing in the world. I will admit that.
Because you're the one tabbing it. I like it.
I've seen the process.
It is so tedious. It takes me hours just to sit there and like, and then I have to, it's just, honestly, I hate it. But once we get past that point and all the guitars are tabbed, he can kind of, work with the drums and he puts it in there and then we just kind of provide some feedback on it and then we just go from there.
Oh yeah.
And then the vocals just go on top of everything.
Yeah, like after all that happens, like after like Guitar Pro, like me and him like get together at my place and we try to do like pre-pro with it and just kind of like, all right, cool, like, and then try to figure out like vocal structure and whatnot. And if I don't like something, I'll like run something by him and he'll be like, all right, you can try it, whatever, and then I'll do it, and that's how that works out. A final product, I guess you can say. Sometimes in the studio, like it changes, but that's
What
like
doesn't change.
yeah,
There's
no,
always
it's
a
true.
need.
Yeah, there's a couple of times where we were just like, but It worked out in the end. So
Oh, yeah.
the final product's pretty dang good.
So, do you guys have any? Well, it doesn't even necessarily have to be just from this band, but do you guys have any interesting live stories yet? Live show stories?
Yeah.
Or day of show stories as well. Those.
Man, like, so I have stories that go from like gear breaking on stage to like gear breaking after, like immediately after.
Or like it's fine during sound check, but then like as we're starting, it breaks.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I was in this band called Don't Say a Word, and they've been around for like a hot minute, but we're not getting into that. Anywho, so we were playing Club Red, and it's like, so Don't Say a Word's like a real, man, how would you categorize that? Like super soft, like almost like being as an ocean kind of, except even softer.
Okay.
And we're playing with bands like In Full Darkness, and I think the Ephemeral was there, and like Scylla, and we're just like, dude,
I think I remember that.
you're
fucking-
probably there, yeah.
Dude,
And so like we were just opening, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? Why are we here? Like, what? Wait. And like, so I'm playing guitar, and I had like this Line 6 rig, and it was, I don't even know the model or anything, but it's the one that came with like the foot switchboard.
Oh,
And literally mid show, all of my pedals, like the circuitry got like mixed up or something, but like my distort, like I'd hit that and it turned to clean, and like I put the volume up and it would go down, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on,
God.
bro? And then if that wasn't bad enough, I'm like, all right, yep, you just got to play through it. You can't let other people like know that you're messing up or like shit's happening. Like literally my pickups in my Eclipse 1000, like the soldering just like finished coming undone. And so it was just a disaster. And I'm like, why does my life exist? Like, why? Lo and behold, that was our last show. So
It was
know
a
the
sign.
like we kind
Yeah.
of like we hung out at Applebee's afterwards. We're like, yeah, bro, like we'll just hang out for practice. Like, you know, that was a shitty show, but it's whatever. Yeah, I'll meet you at my house for practice. Man, that practice never came. So that was a horror story of its own. You know, we had to like pay the venue. It was just, man,
Oh shit! Ended up having to pay the venue only.
yeah.
Oof.
It was some rough times. But this was like
Damn.
4 years ago, so we're on to greener pastures.
Yeah, you live and you learn, man.
Yeah, man.
It happens.
Yeah.
God damn. All right, well, I feel like you're definitely due on some good luck there.
Yeah.
This band is definitely the good luck you've been deserving.
Dude, for real, I haven't had any gear issues or like anything. I got shocked at a show we had once.
Yeah.
Like I went to go plug like my head into my amp, and I was like going back and forth with the sound guy. I was like, dude, my preamp's not working. He's like, oh, just unplug this. I'm like, you sure? And I go, "Pfft." And I literally like, I thought he grabbed my wrists. And I was like, bro, why'd you grab me? He's like, what are you talking about? But I got shocked, and it just went from here like whoop, all the way out over here.
Oh
I'm like,
God.
am I good? And so like I'm playing the
Yeah.
show, and my hands like trembling. I'm like, am I good, guys? Like, wait.
Every chug turns into a gallop.
Dude, yeah, no, literally though. And like the whole day I'm just like, I felt like that guy from Home Alone. Like when he got shot.
Oh my god.
Like it probably wasn't that extreme, obviously, but it was just like all jittery. Like, what's going on? That was our first show, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the first show, wasn't
So
it?
maybe just don't
Oh,
keep me
good.
around. Like,
Oh, and then Brandon's amp.
oh, dude. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Other
That was-
guitars. Every show. Something
Oh,
goes wrong.
God.
His like
We
tuners
thought
or
it
his
was
pedal.
Every show. Pub Rock, we love you. But it was the power supply that they had connected to their wall.
Oh.
So we always bring our own now, just in case.
Smart, yeah.
So, yeah.
Because I mean, you get burnt by that enough, and
I mean, like, B did have, like, his switch go out, and he had to go get that fixed. But,
like on a 65.
Yeah, it was the head. Something happened with like the switch in the back that switches the between the
Yeah.
ohms, and like it was like rattling,
yeah,
and it
that
was
was
stuck.
their debut show.
And like no sound was coming from the head. Like it was
Yep.
plugged in. Like for whatever reason, it was on and nothing. But-
Thankfully, Smile in the Center.
yeah, luckily
yeah.
their guitarist let him use his rig. So
oh,
That's
dude,
really cool.
shout out
Yeah.
to Smiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
big
smile
shout
for
out,
sure.
dude.
he,
For real.
he definitely
For real.
saved our ass on that one.
Hell yeah, they did.
So let's talk about what the rest of what 2019 what you guys did this year, because you started out in May. So how is the year? What's the year been for you guys so far?
So, second show, I don't know if you guys want to talk about that, because I wasn't there.
Man, yeah. So Okay,
So how did that work?
Let's
Right?
let's backtrack a little bit. So our first show, Pub Rock debut, it was with Smile.
Smile headlining. Oh man, let's see.
In the after, right?
In the after, a continent named Coma.
Parallels.
Is that all of them? Parallels. There we go.
Okay, so that show was like
Reopened.
super good, and that was probably like the best first show, other than like the mishaps you just heard. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably the best first show I've had in a hot minute. And so that was super sick. Everyone kind of knew who we were because like AJ's been spitting our name back and forth with everyone, and everyone was like, "All right, well, let's see how you guys sound when you come out." And that one kind of worked out for us. Then our second show comes, and Mr. AJ gets like a mouth infection or something. Lo and behold, like a week before the show, bro.
It was like 2
Literally,
days before.
Yeah, 2
It
days.
was like 2 days. When
And
it was,
like he got
full
like
effect.
the chipmunk chink.
It was
yeah.
He saw me. I gave him my pre-sale money and everything, and it was literally like just huge, like tennis ball size. I could not talk. I looked like death, and I was like, maybe I'm just gonna suck it up and fucking go to the show. I couldn't.
Yeah. So we played our second show without a vocalist, and like it wasn't as bad as we thought it was gonna be because we were like trying to decide 2 days before. Man, do we just drop it? Do we do a set just without vocals? Like, what are we gonna do? And we're like, well, we've already sold tickets. Like, what's the worst? Let's just play the show. And so it was just really weird, especially because it was with like some out of state bands too. It was like Merchants and vice versa, which is yeah. And it was still sick and fun, but like, man, we tried to throw a cover song in there. Like we covered
Outnumbered by the Devil Wears Prada.
yeah, and like we're like maybe people will jump in and sing along. Like maybe it'll make up for it, and it didn't make up for it. So that was kind of a learn your lesson. AJ, don't get fucking sick.
I got
Like,
told not miss shows anymore.
Yeah,
so,
I don't, dude. You break your leg, you're gonna be sitting in that
No,
chair
I
like
mean,
Dave
French is
Grohl.
never-
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so that was interesting. But then the rest of the year, like we filmed our music video. We kind of went. We spent the first half of the year, like even before May, just trying to get a drummer. Like that was like that was hard on its own.
So tedious.
Like, so, but we got Austin now, and like the dude kills it. Like, I'm so happy that we are where we are. But we've just been grinding shows. We were trying to like just really play the cards right. It's cool that we're like getting merch and everything, which sounds like normal to like every band because I feel like every band now is like has merch and stuff. But like, do you guys remember playing in bands? Like, I remember being in a band when I was 14, and I was like, dude, someday I'll have merch, bro. Or like, you don't even have to worry about it. Like, we're gonna play the show. Oh, do we have merch? No. Who the fuck has merch? Like, and now like you're making money at shows, and so I guess what we've been up to this year is just really like a lot of promoting, like self promotions, like just trying to build up our online presence as well as like locally, like going out and like supporting everyone that we can and just trying to get like that vice versa to us. And it's been helping out a lot. I feel like paying attention to an online presence and like a physical local presence is like really.
Yeah.
I think it's paid off for us really well. I think that's why we got the attention we have right now. So
Absolutely. And I mean, it's you've got to play the social media game these days.
It's hard, man, but it's fun. Like Twitter's like that's half a fight. Like Tumblr's dead. Like
Yeah.
like why even bother? Instagram's like the real hitter. Like that's where you gotta focus on now. But like that one's hard, dude.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, I gained 5 followers today, but I lost 6 tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a hard game to keep up. Facebook's still relevant. I think it is. A lot of people say Facebook's dead, but it's like, dude, come on. Like, I get off the app and I instantly get back on it 5 seconds later.
Yeah.
Like, it's not dead.
Dude, I do not think the Facebook's dead at all. Like it's if you're in music and you're just sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna promote on Facebook. Facebook's dead. Like, no, you're missing so goddamn much.
That's what I'm
dude.
saying, bro. And like the second we started utilizing Facebook, like really utilizing it, like something from simple like inviting your friends list or just shit like that. Like we started getting messages from like people that are like in Colorado, in Mexico, in like Europe, and it's just like, dude, this is like so sick. Like who would have thought? And it's just all because of Facebook. Now I'm not saying like put all your like money in Facebook, but like
Don't overlook it.
Yeah.
you're cheating yourself if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason like that's a job. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
someone who does
Dude,
social
for real.
media,
Yeah,
it's a
marketing, yeah,
full-time
for sure.
fucking job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely need to get better at the whole Twitter game. Like,
Dude.
Is Twitter like really advantageous for bands? I just go on there to read bullshit.
But see, that's the thing. Is because when I'm on Twitter, I just want to see the bullshit. I want to
Yeah.
see like stupid fights and awkward
Yes.
memes. Like that's just what I want to get at. And like literally,
Yes.
but like every band, like you'll have like pretty decent sized name bands. Like even like I'm just gonna throw this out for example because I follow them. Like Convictions. Like love the guys, we played with them, super awesome show and everything, but like their Twitter, you know, they have like thousands of followers, but it's really low interaction for almost like any band unless you're like some Solid State, like Bring Me the Horizon or something like that kind of band, you know what I mean? And it's like you'll get like 5 retweets, like a couple comments, and it's like I feel even like on a local level it's even harder because it's like no one's on Twitter for that.
Yeah,
No
everyone's
one,
on
dude.
Twitter to spread fucking hate and anger.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
like,
cool.
That's a real shit post. Yeah.
But no one goes on there to be like, I want to see what so and so's doing because I bet they're doing great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
dude.
guarantee you, like my 300 followers on my personal Twitter aren't here to see how I played the show and how it went.
Yeah.
Like,
They want drama.
dude, yeah, for real. So
Fucking
straight up-
Twitter.
yeah,
I fucking hate Twitter.
That's the impression I've
don't
gotten
have one.
from Twitter. Like,
I don't have one.
because if it wasn't for music, then I would not be on Facebook, dude. Like,
Dude, same.
Dude.
Oh
dude,
my gosh.
if Facebook didn't have Messenger, that like that's the only thing I believe that really drives it. But
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
dude, it sucks that you have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and it gets to the point where it can just get tiring. And it's just like, you feel like you're spamming your friends over and over again. But then when you really think about it, when you're scrolling through your timeline and you see the same thing over and over again, you're not like, oh my God, I can't believe how many times it's popping up. You just scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's going to get you to the point where you're just like, maybe I'll click on it.
Yeah, that's the magic
So-
of retargeting.
Yeah. Like, dude,
It's the algorithm.
Like those Facebook,
Yeah.
like the game apps.
Yeah.
Like I scroll past that shit all the time, and then like I was really bored at the airport in New York, and was like, okay, yeah, you know, I think I'll check it
Might as
out.
well.
Yeah, I see a band, I'm like, okay, now's your chance. Yeah,
like I'm not saying to everybody to just spam everyone constantly.
Please don't.
But maybe just spam a little bit. It definitely is going to be in your favor. Like,
The creepy thing though is like when you see an ad for something that you were
search.
that you were even talking about,
Or
and your
you
phone was
thought
right
about
here.
it, and like they
Right.
know, and you're just like,
Yeah.
wait,
Like one day I was like, man, I wouldn't mind taking piano lessons. That'd be cool.
piano lessons.
And I look up and I'm like, what the fuck? Like literally
type
it
it
heard
in
me
what?
say it. Yeah.
So-
Creepy.
the thing with that shit, like, it's scary to think that that's not surveillance. That's just them having you down so formulaically that they can send an ad and it can be about something that you haven't thought about yet, but you know you wanted.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's insane,
Well,
dude.
Not just that, like
My
I forgot the exact site, but I used to work for Verizon, and like this is like shit we talked about all the time because it's like you're devil's advocate. Yeah, I'm gonna shit talk technology, but here I am handing it to the world.
Yeah.
But like Google listens. I don't care what kind of phone you have. We're getting conspiracies, but like Google legitimately
Not a conspiracy.
Yeah, like listens to every conversation you have.
Yeah.
There's a website
Yeah.
that you can go to, and you could be like in a car ride with your mom, and you didn't say anything, but like you can like find it by date and play it, and it's just like your car ride.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
just super whack, but it's like all shit that we agree to. Because I
Yep.
mean, like it's like that South Park episode where you just like agree.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
The shitty part is that we got opted into that before we knew what data collection was.
Exactly.
Before we knew we had a right to it, or like we still don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what we were signing up to give away.
Yeah,
And
dude.
now it's like the battle be like, oh well, now that we know what it is, can I have that back? Like I don't want you to know
With that
this.
face app, do you remember that? Where like everyone's
yeah.
turning themselves.
I
old?
used it.
and then
Yep, same.
so did I. And even if you guys didn't, I used it on our band promo, so it had all of our faces. But,
perfect.
Yeah, but like the second like that whole thing came out, where it was like, oh, the Russians have your face. I was just like,
They
oh,
probably do
well,
already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be that hard for them to get it without the app either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Sure,
So,
yeah.
dude.
I mean, we post shit all the time on Facebook or fucking like,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Snapchat.
Yeah. You know?
And like piggybacking off the Google thing, like I remember reading something where it was just like, oh yeah, so Google's Google devices constantly record, but they only store the relevant data, and it's just like, wait, who's deciding
determining-
what the
yes.
relevant data is?
Can you please tell me? Yeah.
Government audit.
So with that being said, if you guys can please just say "Beyond Our Suffering" once, we'll come up in your newsfeed.
Yeah.
I really
We
appreciate it.
We'll definitely retarget you on Facebook.
Yeah. Just make sure Google knows.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's try and do one of those ask Alexa pranks where they fuck it. Ask
God.
Alexa, play Beyond Our Suffering.
Yeah.
So now everyone listening to the podcast is
Yeah.
Please, I was like dying instead.
Oh no, dude! Yeah, we cooked ourselves.
Literally did.
Thanks.
Everyone keeps asking like, "Oh, are you guys on YouTube?" And we're like, "Yeah, but you have to put in the song right after our name."
Hey man, if you Google Beyond Our Suffering, I'm like 98% sure this works. Like, we're the first thing that comes up as like Beyond Our Suffering, like AZ band.
Hell yeah.
So like,
Oh.
that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
before
well,
Google starts to listen in on this conversation,
Yeah.
Let's take a
might be number 5.
quick break, play some tunes, check it out.
Hell yeah, we'll be right back. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that. That was the new music video from Beyond Our Suffering, and we are back. So let's talk about everybody, how you got into your instrument. So
How did you get into your face? How did that become? For
How did you get in that
I
throat?
woke up screaming.
Me, it was
born screaming.
it was actually guitar first when I was like 10.
Okay.
I picked up an acoustic guitar. My grandpa played guitar a lot, and he just was like a fucking god. Like any guitar that he would pick up, sweep, like tap, and things I'd never saw before as a kid, obviously. So like I was like, oh my god, he's the best guitar player ever. But like I found out he had a band back in El Salvador, like where he's from and all that.
yeah.
And then he would keep like some of the guitars and he'd show me some stuff and he's like, you should learn how to do this. And I'm just like, ting, ting. Like, so, but it inspired me a lot to become a musician and to learn basic music theory. I just have like one guitar now and that is meh. But screaming, that kind of started when I was 16. I heard Under Oath for the first time and I was like, fuck. So I literally bought It's Only Chasing Safety and Define the Great Line back to back. I listened to that first CD and I was like, that's super fucking cool. I want to learn how to do that. And I put in Define the Great Line. I was like, you can go deeper? What? So I was like, I'm learning how to do that. And since then, man, I've just been like opening up avenues. Like my first show was with the Breathing Process, and they were like, "Dude, you should check out Oceano." And I was like, "Oceana?" I was like so naive. I had no idea what deathcore was until they played with us, and he was like, "No, Adam Warren is a fucking screaming god." And I was like, "Ooh, definitely gonna like learn how to do that stuff." And now I throw it into the mix. So.
Hell
Now you're the goat, bro.
hell yeah.
Dude, have you seen that kid from Shadow of Intent?
Dude,
Yeah,
I have
dude.
not gotten to see them live yet. I missed them the last time they were here, but
Yeah.
oh my god.
Seen videos of that kid?
In the
real
recording
life?
studio?
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, he looks like such a kind soul, but like when he starts like fucking laying down lines, he sounds like a goddamn fucking demon.
Yep.
It's like, what?
Yeah. It's inspiring. I'm like,
It's
oh,
so
man.
good.
Dude. And actually, just to shout out really good vocalists, Mark Garrett, Cardivox, Cardivox Academy on YouTube.
Yep.
Fucking, he is the vocalist of Kardashev and now the vocalist of Viremia as well. He actually will take, he'll look at videos and like pick apart like screaming technique and just be like, oh, this is how he's doing that. This is how he's doing that. And he did that with
Shadow of
Heretic.
Intent.
Yeah, he one of the newer tracks.
Yep.
And fucking just sat down and fucking broke it all down. I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
At 2:15, you're gonna want a re followed by a bleh. How he really got that out was
Yeah. Dude, it's almost like that.
Yeah,
But
it
he's
literally
got
is,
quite a
yeah.
few where he breaks them down, and it's really
That's
cool.
sick.
Yeah. I think my favorite one was the cattle decap. So I love cattle
yeah.
decapitation.
Yup.
But, dude, I love Travis Ryan's goblin voice. It's so good.
Dude,
It's
hell
so
yeah.
good.
So, as we were saying, instruments, how did you get into it?
Yeah, so I come from a musical family. Everyone on my dad's side, as long as you can look back, there's like musicians, guitar, everything. My dad was a mariachi when he was in high school.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. He would play the big old guitarron, and like he had a big pompadour, and yeah. Anyway, so he would always try to pass it on. And funny enough, I actually did not want to learn how to play guitar as a kid. I was just like, he would try to teach me, and I'd just be like, I don't like it. And I think it was just what he was trying to teach me. He was just trying to teach me basic stuff, classic rock. Nothing. I have nothing against classic rock, but I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to play stuff I don't like. And then I played bass for a little while when I was like in 4th grade, just with my brother, him and my dad. We would jam. And then I realized how boring it was. No, just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
You make me leave the chat, man.
Oh my god.
Bloop. Just totally kidding. And then, like when I was in 6th grade going into junior high, my older brother, we discovered, like metalcore, like bands like Bullet from Valentine, Killswitch Engage. Killswitch Engage was a huge one.
Hell yeah.
Like the song My Curse made me want to play guitar.
Hell yeah.
That intro riff, like dun, 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 dun. So like I would play bass and my brother would play all the guitars, and like I would basically be playing rhythm guitar, and then we would play the harmonized melodies, and I would just be playing it on bass. And then one day I was like, I'm just gonna play guitar.
Yeah.
And so like I had branched out to As I Lay Dying as well. Like their Shadows Our Security album was like huge. All the melodies. The first song I actually learned on guitar was The Darkest Nights.
Damn,
And-
hell yeah.
Yeah. So like at that point I could already play that stuff on
Yeah.
bass. But
Oh,
like,
yeah, fair.
Yeah. And then so putting it on a guitar with a smaller scale just made it easier. So I didn't have to like. Yeah. So I would play that riff for hours, and my mom would just be like, "Are you done?" Yeah. And then from there, I just kind of, ironically, was self-taught for the most part. Even though my dad tried to teach me. I mean, I learned a lot of things from him, but as far as metal guitar, I pretty much taught myself and just keep learning. I stopped learning songs because I felt like it was kind of dampening my creativity. So like. Albums that I learned front to back were like Messengers and Constellations by August Burns Red.
Oh, yeah.
An Ocean Between Us, Shadows Our Security, Screaming Fire by Bullet from Valentine, The Poison, Fever, all that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah.
And eventually, like when I got into bands, I just stopped so that I could try to create my own stuff and not pretty much just play a riff that I've already learned.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've just come a long way since then.
Yeah, dude. And especially, so have your parents been to any of your shows yet?
Yes. My dad came to a few of our shows at Pub Rock, and then my mom just came to our first show, or her first show to see us at Club Red for Rings of Saturn.
Have they experienced metal before that?
Yes, because, I mean, we listened to metal and played it all the time at home, but it was just their first time seeing, like,
The performance.
the performance.
Yeah.
And my mom thought it was super cool. She's like, yeah, you guys did great. I've heard you play, like, because I've played guitar all the time. Like, I would walk around the house as a teenager just playing guitar.
Yeah.
Like, I would go downstairs to get a midnight snack and I had my guitar in my hands. Like, it's a part of me.
Yeah.
And as weird as that is, you can
No, I
judge me.
feel it, dude. You gotta stay practicing.
You can judge me if you want, but it's
You're
you
laying in
got,
bed, just
you got to practice
Yep.
some scales when you're getting some frosted mini weeds.
Right.
But she was like, yeah, like you guys always play, but it was like my first time seeing the actual performance. Like you're full on, like, 100%. And she
Hell
thought
yeah.
it was really cool. So that was awesome.
The mom approval is key.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
It's
my
when
mom
you know
just,
you're doing it right.
yeah, she always hated that stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like that can go one of two ways because you can get the stamp of approval, or I am still scared to invite my parents to a show. Like,
a sale's a sale, man.
Oh my god, this guy over here, Don King, ladies and gentlemen.
My parents don't understand the idea of a pre-sale either, so they would just be like, okay, well, yeah, we're just gonna walk in, right? And I'm just like, no, you have to buy a ticket. Like, we do make some money, like not a lot, but some money.
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
gotta get them frosted mini wheats.
Family size box.
It's a chain reaction, man.
Yep.
I just we grew up on gospel music, so fucking
Yeah,
could not-
I can relate to that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I come from a pretty religious family, so the idea of metal in the house was a battle for me,
Yeah.
just to say the least. I'll leave it at that.
I definitely know where you're coming.
Had a lot of
coming from with that.
opposition, just trying to listen to and just kind of feel and engage what I have come to love so much.
Yeah.
But
A lot of the "Do you worship Satan?" then questions.
Stan, actually.
Oh,
Hail Stan.
That is what it do, Yugi.
And Dawson, how about yourself?
Well, these guys are lying because we all know the way we got into music was in 4th grade playing the recorder.
He's not wrong.
But
I
that's
mean, facts.
Yeah, I mean, someone's got to say it. But
Hot cross buns.
yeah, for real. That is kind of how it started for me. Weirdly enough, because I was just like that total band geek. Like I played the clarinet, the bass clarinet, like in elementary school. Then I went to high school, and I was still doing it. So you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like for real. But then like I went into marching band, which is like a whole other like can of worms. And I was like in drumline. I played like timpani and then just like random shit like that, like trombone, saxophone, and everything, and like everything but guitar and bass. And so it was like somewhere around like middle school where I was just like, man, I don't want to be a dweeb anymore. Like, I want to be cool. Like, I'm going to these shows. I'm like, these guys look cool. I want to look cool. I want to sound cool. When is it my turn? And so my buddy, like my best friend Jake, love you, Jake. He was like really good at guitar. Like, and I would just go over to his house almost every day after school, and he would just be like shredding, and I'd just be like, and they're like, how the fuck does he do that? Like his hands are like, and I'm over here like. So I would just watch him play for hours on end. And I'm like, man, I want to learn, but I'm probably not going to be good enough to do that. So I'm going to get a bass. But it's true. So I went and got a bass. And like, I remember like learning songs is like, I never learned like chords or anything of the sort. So I still don't know that, which I'm working on. But like everything, it's all been tabs, man. And I love tabs, and tabs are a lifesaver. I love tabs. So thank you for that, Guitar Pro stuff. I appreciate you.
Okay.
But like,
Alex is like, you motherfucker, I have that out.
yeah, no, literally. But man, it's like ever since I started that, I'm like okay at everything, like the mediocre at like a lot of stuff kind of guy, but I'm at the right place at the right time. And I think that's why these guys have like kept me around, or how I ended up being with these guys is it's been fun. But I remember like the first song I learned was like, man, I Have a Problem by Beartooth. So if that really like gives you a timestamp, a date, that wasn't too long ago. Yeah. And I was playing on like this little PV amp, and like I'm like, bro, why does everything sound so like, not heavy? Like everything's all clean. I figured out like, oh, you gotta get a distortion pedal. I'm like, okay, this is an expensive hobby. Yeah, exactly. I gotta get that bread.
Told me this was gonna cost money.
Yeah, here I am working at Subway, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm getting like $200 every 2 weeks. So how am I gonna afford this? Yeah,
big move.
But that went from playing bass. I eventually kind of gave it up, went towards guitar because I wanted to sound cool, and like just going back and forth. But it's been a lot of fun, especially coming from, I guess, being able to read like bass clef and treble clef has like helped me write music and all like that, like compose as well, because it's like I can hear a symphony kind of thing in this way, or just stuff like that, or like I know how to play piano, so like there's times where I'm just like, man, that would like sound sick like that in the song. It's helped out a lot. What I think is also cool, and I'm just gonna throw this out there, but it has to bring with the upbringing of music, is so like being a band nerd and everything like that, you get picked on a lot. Like I've had like a lot of bullies, and what's really cool about this experience and Beyond Our Suffering is like I've been to like a couple, like some of our past shows, I've seen some of my bullies at these shows wearing my merch, and I'm just on stage like,
Got him.
Yep.
okay. So that's kind of like my tale from music. It's just, it was a little late from others, but
Hell yeah.
it's been cool.
And dude, honestly, I think these days, like it's mostly to do just with personality, making a band fit with 5 different personalities. Like it's been said a million times, but it's relationship. Like you're getting into a relationship with 4 other dudes, like, or 4 other people, and just like you're having to make music, perform music, run a business with 4 of your friends.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to make sure the personalities all mesh well. And how's the dynamic been for you guys? You guys said that you just recently got a drummer after the struggle of finding a drummer. How's the dynamic been since then?
It's been really fun. Like we took it very seriously, like in the beginning stages of us, and like it kind of just wasn't working that well, you know? Like we were getting things done, but it wasn't like fun.
Yeah.
So we tried it with like Austin when he came in and he joined up. We gave him that offer and he was like, dude, hell yeah. And like he's kind of like the quirky one, like the weeb of the group.
He is a weeb, but we love you.
We do love him, and like he brings out like more of like our sarcastic sides and whatnot.
Yeah.
We let loose a lot more now, and like just it makes us that much better and closer as a unit. So because like you said, like we enter a relationship with 4 other dudes. It's like a family.
Yep.
Straight up, and
Yep.
like that.
My wife doesn't agree to it, but
Fucking polygamous.
It's been good.
We make it
though.
work.
yeah. No, it's been interesting, that's for sure. I think what kind of helped is like Brandon and I, our other guitarists, we've been in past bands together.
Yep.
So like we kind of came into it, or I guess when they invited me, and I was like, okay, at least I know someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is kind of funny because AJ tried out for a band that Brandon and I were in, and Brandon turned him down.
Oh,
And
shit.
so like I remember
Remember
when
the
this
reason he
happened.
turned me down? Though?
Why?
He said I was too old.
Here we go.
What?
Yeah. Okay.
And at what point in your life was this?
This is like 3 years ago.
This is literally like 3 years ago.
And how
years
old were you
ago.
at the time?
Like
27.
27. Yeah.
Okay, I just turned
Okay.
21. I'm young as hell. It wasn't my
I'm
choice.
the dad.
Right? Like, oh my god, that was 4 years ago? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Jeez.
But yeah, so I remember that, and I was like, okay, well, you know, being in this band with Brandon back then, I was like, well, you know, I guess if we're not going through with him, we don't have to see him, so it's not awkward or anything. And then lo and behold, 4 years later, I'm in a band with him. And I'm just like, hey, didn't he try out for us? And then Brandon's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so we're just gonna not bring that up, right? Like, how's that gonna go? But like, he brings it up all the time, and I'm just like, yo,
like,
bro, you're,
do you like
you're
me
shooting
now?
the wrong guy here. Yeah, do you like me now? Do you approve? Am I good enough? But
I guess
So-
he didn't want you to buy him beer.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, that was a little fun fact. But no, I think we've all been making it work together. Now we butt heads like 25-8. Like, of course, who doesn't?
Creatively,
But
it gets kind of wild, but you know.
yeah, we all have each other's best interests in mind, and we all want the same goal, and we're like willing to do what it takes to get there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we need to have a practice, we're all willing to sacrifice, whether it's like staying out super late, but you work really early, or like, you know, trying to get the day off, like, you know, or we're all willing to pitch in money wise, even if we're not in the best financial situation. So it does work out. This is probably the strongest clique I've had in a band, where everyone's like sharing the same responsibilities and stuff like that. We're holding each other accountable. So
That's so nice.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not one person just like having the weight of the world, you know?
Yeah.
Or like we help each other out if like one of us can't like, you know, financially afford it or anything like that. Like if we're in a bind or something, like we're like, oh, next time then.
Yeah.
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 It's really nice.
Hell yeah. How did the band start out?
Well, kind of like
Fourth grade.
kind of piggybacking off of the whole getting rejected type thing. Funny enough, I was working for a school like district, and I went in to a Fry's like in Mesa, and I was like doing a purchase order for like work and whatnot. Lo and behold, Alex here was the assistant manager at the time for the front end, and this girl that was like. I was like in the checkout line, like didn't know how to run a purchase order. And so she went to go get him, and I was wearing my Forevermore shirt on. And he was like, dude, that's a sick band. I was like, dude, this is my favorite album by them. Like, oof. And like we walked like to the door together just because he was like wanting to talk music, and he was just picking my brain about it all. And we were like, you want to exchange numbers? And it's been bromance ever since, pretty much.
Dude,
That's hot.
legit.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. Just to add to that, just my personality, I'm not super outgoing. I don't make conversations with people, you know, if I don't want to.
Yeah.
Being in a customer service or, you know, a management position, it's like, that's my job.
Yeah.
But the night before, the Devil Wears Prada was actually in town, and I went to the show, and Silent Planet was opening up for him in Vale of Maya. And Forevermore is one of those bands that like not everyone knows about.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
if you are a fan of Forevermore, like it's like you're a cool person. It's like
Good in my book.
you know what I mean? It's like it's one of those things where it's like it's like like-minded people like the same
Yep.
types of things. Like Silent Planet is one of those bands where like people are generally their fan base is pretty cerebral.
Yeah.
And I'm like kind of nerdy like that when it comes to, all their music and stuff. So I was like, Forevermore. Haven't heard of this band in a while. And then it just, I don't know. I just felt like this thing that I was like, I feel like I'm meeting this dude for a reason. It was like one of those like
Hell yeah.
sort of epiphany moments. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I kind of feel like I should get his number for whatever reason. And then lo and behold, here we are.
Hell yeah.
5 shows later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we started adding people from there because then you guys reached out to Brandon.
Yeah,
and then
that was funny because like he was in another band called Proxy, and they play like very experimental stuff, like weird time signatures and stuff like that. And I reached out to Brandon like with one of like our very first songs that we don't even have anymore. Don't want to talk about it. And he was like, "That's the same Alex from like Proxy." What? He like because he's known for like not playing drop tuning, like things like that for that band
okay.
specifically.
Alex is
Drop
ripping
C
out
is still drop
F.
tuned.
Whatever. And so he was like, "Okay, let's jam." And then he got Dawson.
Because I made Brandon swear to me like 3 bands ago that he would take me wherever he goes. So he lived up on a promise.
The funny
here
thing,
we
though,
are.
is that when Proxy was founded, the guy, Lorenzo Fields, who started the band, he started the chat because I met him by chance through another friend that I was in a class with at MCC. I just happened to see that he was in a band. I'm like, yo, you're in a band? That's cool, because I hadn't been in like a band before.
Yeah.
Anyways, I meet this dude Lorenzo, and then he hits me up. You want to be in a band? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to be in a band. And anyways, the group chat on Facebook was myself, Lorenzo, and a few other guys, and Brandon was actually supposed to be the other guitarist. And Lorenzo was like, dude, I think Brandon would be like the perfect match for you, just hearing your style, like you guys are going to click so well. And then Brandon just didn't join the band for whatever reason.
Classic.
Multiple times.
It was probably the 2 bands that we were in.
He just denied for whatever reason. It's cool. It's whatever. It's in the past.
We've all known rejection. So
Yeah, and so lo and behold, I'm in a band with Brandon now. And it's just like
it's like the perfect.
it's just
marriage
everything
for
is like coming
guitar.
full circle.
But you know
It's
what's
pretty
really
funny.
weird? The fact we went to high school together and didn't know each other.
Right.
True.
Yeah, until like this band. And
But
he was
I-
like, yeah, I was at Desert Ridge. I was like, wait.
Oh shit.
I
I'm
was
a
at
little
Desert
older
Ridge.
than you though, so
I mean, but still, like,
yeah.
it's
So-
all in all.
I mean, the missing link to all of this, the real question is, has Austin been rejected by Brandon at any point in time? Because I mean,
You know? I don't think so.
I feel like that's the
Yeah, I'll
running
say
theme
no.
here.
Sounds like we have some work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Research.
We need to get Austin rejected here. So,
I think we can make it work, guys.
so on that one, we're actually going to go to a quick commercial break here, and we will be back shortly. We're going to talk a little bit more about Beyond Our Suffering after these commercial breaks.
Feel like I belong, but knowing there's no support for you for so long. All I wanted was to know of a purpose to feel like I belong, but knowing there's no support from you for so long. You linger in the empty space inside my mind. All I want, fight to destroy what's engraved in my eyes.
All right, so we are back. Thank you to anyone. I always appreciate anyone who makes it this far into the video. Like,
Yeah, you have to look at our ugly faces for quite a while. So
yeah,
thanks.
dude. So, like, anybody who's still watching at this point, like, thank you for not having anything better to do. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But so, you guys, if you guys could put together your dream tour, what would it be? And we're gonna make it a little bit different. So you're just gonna pick 2 bands that's gonna be on this lineup for this tour.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yes.
Only 2.
So it's gonna be it's gonna be a 7-band tour lineup.
Can they be broken up?
Yes. You.
Okay.
So currently touring or currently a band or not.
If you guys take mine, I quit.
Well, for me, As Lay Dying has been one of my inspirations for like the longest time, like guitar wise, vocal wise. So that, man, second one.
I mean, you guys can be on it too.
Well, the assumption is that they.
We're the headliner.
Oh, I see.
I'm
We
also
have-
picking a band too, and I've picked them.
Oh, got you. Just establishing guidelines.
Okay.
Man, I don't know. The second one, I don't know, man. I guess I'll just throw it out. Brand of Sacrifice because they
Okay.
were freaking sick. Like,
I feel like that would be a good one to tour with. As I Lay Dying and Brand of Sacrifice, I feel like that's already a
that's
solid
like,
fucking
that's
tour
a
lineup.
freaking cool like mixed idea right there. So.
Hell yeah.
And you're headlining, dude. Like,
Yeah, bro, doesn't get better than that.
yeah.
The BOS tour.
Alex, what are you adding to this tour
Only
lineup?
2?
Right?
I mean, not that I'm a huge Periphery fan or anything. Definitely Periphery. Although I would not feel worthy to share the same stage or venue as them in the same night. Now for the second band,
Don't say that. You're good enough.
Mark, please notice me. No, it's probably a tie between the Buried in Me and Tesseract. Like Between the Buried in Me is
dude.
like honestly one of the most underappreciated bands of just like all time. I feel
Facts.
Dude, BT
Just-
Bam.
progressive metal like at its best. BT Bam. But I also love Tesseract so much. I don't know. Can I just do 3?
No, it's
I
too.
got
We
you.
don't have the money for 8 bands on this tour.
Yeah, dude.
Probably BT Bam.
What's your favorite BT Bam record? Before we move on, sorry.
Parallax 2.
Okay. Tight.
What's yours?
It was.
I forget the fucking name of it. It's the one before Parallax.
The Great Misdirect.
Yes. That one.
Okay, there's like, sorry to digress, but there's a huge like debate between BT Bam fans of like what's the better like BT Bam, like the early like Alaska, Colors, The Great Misdirect.
yeah.
For me, the Parallax 2 is like what really got me into them besides Alaska and the Silent Circus. It's so unique. It's like its own thing. It's like it's not really metal.
Yeah.
There's like so many different things on it. It's mind blowing. Anyways,
I
So
can't-
what BT band are you bringing with you then?
all of them.
Oh no, you
All of
gotta
them.
pick one.
One.
You gotta pick one. You can only satisfy one of the 2 BT band crowds.
Yeah.
So
you should satisfy mine because
That's another
because
sale.
the whole Parallax story
It
of it.
originates from the
Yeah, but like the storyline of those 2 records, I thought of it first.
oh damn.
Like way before they did it. Like I have it written down in books, like the story.
Oh shit.
And then both those records came out. I'm like, that's almost my exact story.
Wait.
What the fuck?
Where are my
So
royalties?
yeah,
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
BT band
Shit.
ripped off Ryan.
yeah.
opening up some old wounds. Are you in that
Yeah.
All Things Between the Buried and Me group on Facebook?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's like a BT Bam like Facebook group who like they talk about all the lyrics, like all the interpretations of all. It's like super BT Bam nerd. Like
No.
it's like whole collective of them.
Well, now that I know that it exists,
You should check it out.
I'm gonna go on there and be like, "You sons of bitches."
You know, like picture proof. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tommy, fuck you. I had this idea first.
exactly.
Yeah, probably Parallax 2 era. I mean, honestly, anything after Alaska is just phenomenal.
Okay. So we've got BT bam. Did you end up going with Tesseract?
Periphery.
Oh, Periphery,
Yeah.
BT bam, As I Lay Dying, and Brand of Sacrifice. And
You
how
know,
we
I
ran this
stand
out.
behind my decisions, and I'm not backing down.
Oh boy.
Attack, and abandon all ships.
Oh shit!
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
There's no going back. We're in it.
All right. So
Bro.
this is a very different choice here. So I'm gonna guess. I'm guessing.
He wants to play arenas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to make money on this tour.
Yeah, come on.
Right. So what bands got you into the bands that you listen to now?
Bro, those guys right there. Like, I really liked, I mean, I'd call it electronic horror almost at that point, but like stuff like early Weekends Romans, like Icy Stars, like just like all that kind of shit is what I like thrived off of back in whatever it was, like 2009. Dude, that's still what I listen to, man. Like, no matter what new music comes out, I'm still jamming the same shit from 2010. And like, I'm proud about it. I mean, I'll listen to new stuff, but it's just I always end up going back, and that's what got me into it. I mean, like, don't deny y'all never did the crabcore. Like, come on, we all do it.
I still do that
Yeah,
shit on
we
stage.
still
I'm not
do
gonna lie.
it.
Yeah, I
We
found
just-
myself doing it like,
Yo.
last
Like,
show. I was like,
just
what am I
played a
doing?
show, just did it. It's in the music video. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice coach.
good save for any. We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen because
What are
we
you
are a
talking about?
professional podcast. That was edited out.
Yep. But that's the exact same shit that happened to the generation before us. They were like, "Oh man, all this new music today. I remember back in my day, we had
Yeah.
real good music."
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so-
not saying it's not. I love the music we have now, but man, my heart's still with them. dude.
Yeah.
So we had this conversation recently, me and a couple friends, about what metal needs to do in order to survive. And one of the big things that I brought up is the fact that the biggest metal bands these days are still bands that are like 20, 30 years old. The big four are still the big four of metal.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at genres like rap, you look at pop, and it's just like it's a constant like
Something's
Oh,
always
it's
changing.
fresh meat. Yeah.
the artists reflect the generations that listened to the music.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why is it that like there was this huge hit for metal, these bands got big, and then they stayed big, and then no other bands got to that point?
Clearly, all the other bands sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
just
obviously
kidding.
all of these bands suck since Metallica.
It all makes sense.
I stopped listening to music after the Black Album.
No, honestly, I got to Saint Anger, and I was like, this is good enough.
Oh my god, that snare though. It's probably the best snare I've ever heard in my
God,
life.
memories.
Got him.
But it's just like shit like that. It's just like there's this show on Netflix called Rhythm and Flow, and it's a rap version of American Idol where a whole bunch of dudes go out, they try out, and like T.I., Cardi B, and Chance the Rapper, like they judge and they move people forward. Like, why can't metal have something like that? And I feel like, though, if we did have something like that, everybody would be super mad about, like, oh my god, look at all this metal in the mainstream.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
why are
There
we
was,
so opposed to
The
that?
elitist.
There was like The
Yeah.
Voice in like Europe or whatever their version. Like they have The Voice like that's over in that region, and some chick did an Asking Alexandria song, and like she did pretty good on it, but like everyone's like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, just stank face. Like why? And
Yeah,
it
dude.
it kind of sucks, but I mean,
And it's just like anytime that Kim Kardashian gets caught like wearing a metal shirt, or any of the Kardashians, everybody's just like, oh my god, like, why is she wearing a metal shirt? Like, she didn't listen to it. Like, that's millions of people that just got to see like that metal band that wouldn't have seen it ordinarily.
Oh, for real.
Like, why are we always so mad about that
Yeah,
sort of
for
stuff?
real.
Like, do we dislike money? Like, what the fuck?
Apparently.
Do we
That's
dislike
why we're in
sold out
bands.
like arenas? Like, shit, dude.
Unclear.
Like, like, god damn. I'm not saying we don't do it, but it's just like we could do it more if we would embrace the mainstream.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I want people to be able to make money doing shit that they enjoy.
and I think a lot of people see it as like, you know, if you get there, you have to like sell out.
Yeah.
But it's like selling out such a matter of perspective, man. Like I know a lot of people will give bands like total, like I'm just gonna throw out Bring Me the Horizon and like Asking Alexandria because they've been recently known to sell out. But it's like, bro, they're doing what they love, and that's
Yeah.
all music is. Like if you're telling me us as a group collectively wanted to change our sound because that's what we enjoyed to play. Like, we would want our fans to support us.
Yeah.
Like, it might seem like selling out, because maybe more people are liking it, but, like, we're only doing it because that's what we love. And I know, like, as a musician, like, I can only imagine how maybe bands like that, and there's countless others that are doing the same thing they are, feel when they get all this, like, retaliation, which, of course, comes with everything, but it's, like, selling out's just such a matter of perspective
dude,
to reach that goal.
that and like, to piggyback off of that, just imagine, compare the budget that you have for recording right now and the budget that you have for gear right now, and then the budget that you'll have when you make it to that point and can make anything that you want.
And
Are you?
enhance it, like-
Yeah. And you're telling me that your sound will sound exactly the same, like with thousands and thousands of dollars in gear, and you can make whatever
Like,
ideas.
emulate whatever you
Yeah.
want. Yeah. Not to mention going through all that process, like, you as a musician, as a person, are going to change through all these, like, tour shows. You know, maybe you got, like, fucked over by someone. Maybe you didn't. And, like, your sound just changes, man. Like, the only thing that's consistent in the world is change.
Yep.
And I think that's, like, a huge part of it. People are like, oh, well, now they're playing arenas because they changed their sound. And, like, fuck that. I'm like, dude, you know, I kill for it either way. So,
Yeah, dude. There's,
Unless you're Opeth, then I'm still mad. Still mad.
so, as people may have noticed from the first commercial break, there's a music video that will be dropping shortly after this airs. In the vicinity of where this airs. How was recording that? There any interesting stories or any interesting experiences from that?
I hate road trips. I hate trips in general. I get very motion sick, and I'm never leaving this state again.
Oh my!
We didn't leave this state, but I'm not going near it.
Yeah.
Put me in the back.
You already are. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
We don't even have backtracks right now. Yeah, we filmed the video in Sedona. A few of the songs, that we have coming out have sort of a naturalistic theme to them, nature, sort of a Mother Earth type thing. Just in regards to, the condition of the world right now. Like the world's just, it's dying.
Bro.
Anyways, so we wanted
bad.
to the song in particular, Lumina, it reflects that more or less. And we wanted a location that looked beautiful because, it's just on the path that we are right now is just like a human species. Like, it's not going to last.
Yeah.
And so AJ and I went up to scout a location, in Sedona, and it was a beautiful hike. And it was our first time putting a music video together, more or less, 2 hours away from where we live.
I was going to say, how is that hike with your gear?
Dude, hiking with the drum
Oh my
set,
God.
That was pretty
was-
awful, but
stonks for plummeting.
It was a
we made it
huge,
through. Assembly line, like
yeah,
from the
it was
top
a
to the bottom.
huge learning experience.
Yeah.
next time hire a Sherpa.
Yeah.
We had a generator, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
It was rough.
It was pretty rough. We had to split it up into 2 days just because we honestly just didn't have our shit together.
First music
We didn't
video.
have all our ducks in a row,
Yeah.
and we paid the price of a really stressful day. We got some good takes though, but we did have to reschedule a second shoot for further down the line, like a month or two later, and we got it done. The final product is great. Jake did a really good job. He's fantastic. He worked with us. He put up with all our bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit that day. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean,
So
you have anything to add?
I mean, it was a fun experience because we all got to as rough as that day was and stressful because when we got there was no parking for anything. It was when we scouted, it was December, so there was snow on the ground.
yeah.
When we went there, it was touring, tourism was happening and there was just chaos and whatnot. And we're where do we park?
we literally parked on the side of the mountain and walked with our gear along the road. And I'm just like, dude,
It was
we're gonna
a
get hit
good
by a car,
100,
bro. We're just
150
carrying
feet.
guitars and
Yeah, it was
Rough.
Yeah, well, we definitely learned from this experience for sure. But
Yeah, to say
I
the
think
least.
it kind of brought us closer as a band. Just
Way after the fact, not not
initially
immediate,
that
not
night,
initially.
but just to be able to overcome that rough patch. It was all of our first time doing a music video,
yeah.
so it was literally a rough patch. But the shots that we got, the music video just looks great. Jake killed it with his shots and all that. So
Oh yeah,
So
stoked to see it.
hell yeah, I'm very excited to see it. And
hope
quick
everyone loves
question.
it.
I'm y'all gonna love it. Just make sure you watch it. If this is released after it has already dropped, then go back and watch it again. But if this is beforehand, then just get very excited. First time shooting a music video. How did it feel jumping around, not actually playing?
I almost fell on my face 5 times, and it's just so weird standing out in the open and you're literally just a guitar. You're not plugged into anything, and I'm like, man, how stupid do I look? Okay, do a spin. Yeah, and then what? And then having to learn how to headbang, just so it doesn't look like you're just lobbing your body back. I don't know, man. It was just a really weird experience, and I'm like, okay, this is how all music videos are. This is how all music videos are. I can go and watch anything, and they're not plugged in, and everything. It's okay, but it was interesting.
The first time I'd ever shot a music video was with Dead World, and I remember having the biggest existential crisis because I was just like, yo, we don't have cables in that music video. People are gonna know we're fake. People are gonna know we didn't play that.
Literally.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Me just never having done it before, I was just like, yo, dude, we're we're gonna get laughed off this fucking. We're gonna get laughed off of YouTube.
I'm like, AJ doesn't even have a mic in his hand.
I was like,
how do they know?
so do I just lip sync this, or like do
Yeah.
I scream it? And me being me, I screamed the whole thing until I could not speak anymore that
Nope.
night.
I was
Oh,
like,
man.
I think what threw it
Yeah.
off the most is like the fact that there's a drum set. So it's like, why does Austin get his whole gear? Like everything's normal, and we're over here just like, okay,
What are they plugged into? Rocks?
yeah. I want to rock.
This is the power of nature.
Yeah.
Nature core.
Shit. So, where can people catch you guys on social media?
We got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
We have a Twitter.
We have a YouTube. There's only 2 streaming videos on there though, so
Pretty much everywhere but
moment.
Tumblr. I mean, like I can change that. But, like, am I going to?
You're about to get a lot of requests for Tumblr now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'll make it happen. It'll be a lot of gifts. But no, pretty much everywhere. We're active. We're not trying to be like. I know we are talking about this earlier, like too spammy because it's like you don't want to see the same thing always. But like we're trying to keep like an active post. We like to be like really engaged with our audience and like other people. We'll do tons of contests when it comes to shows, so always keep an eye out for that. We'll do like free tickets if you can retweet or share or like or anything first. So.
Cool.
we would love to do more of that. So
Yeah, well, we'll have tons of more shows coming. So
And for anybody that is catching you guys for the first time, do you guys have any messages for them?
we just want to like play music the way that we like it, and hopefully that you will engage with it and whatnot. And like we're pretty low, like to the ground kind of dudes, so like you can definitely approach us and whatnot and just like hang out and everything like that. So
yeah, come talk to us, man. I think
Literally, yeah.
that's the best thing is like walking around after a show and just like having someone come up and talk to me. Like you don't have to like my set or not. Just like come talk to me, man. Like let's shoot some shit, dude. Like let's go get a drink. I think a good message to get out is just kind of like we're all here for each other. I think like a really cool thing is like the name and meaning behind our band. Like yeah, it's like inspired by like As I Lay Dying, which I mean we're not gonna deny, yeah. But it's like beyond our suffering is like something really cool that I know a lot of us like take into heart is you know, like you have the pain and like loss of family members, and it's like yeah, it's our suffering, but it's like it's beyond us. Like you know what I mean? It like it means more than just us. We're not trying to be like selfish or anything because there's always a bigger picture, a greater scheme, and like that's kind of what we're here to display in our music is, you know, there's a bigger picture. Take it with whatever you want. We're not telling you how to translate stuff, but anything else, Alex?
Yeah, essentially, you know, I guess like, you know, according to Tim in the song, Beyond Our Suffering, it seems our problems solve themselves when we look beyond us, you know, to those, you know, suffering greatly or more than we are. Not saying that like, you know, to be gratified by watching people suffer more than like what we're going through. It's just like kind of helps you put yourself into perspective that like everyone goes through things and something horrible that happens to you when you're going through it, you're like, why is this happening to me? Like, you know, is it just my luck? Do I have bad luck? Am I just destined to like fail? Like, are all these trials and oppositions just like, you know, what do I do? And then, you know, you never know. Eventually you'll meet someone just randomly who's going through something that you went through. And it's like when you look beyond yourself, you can, you know, meet someone where they're at and like just kind of, I don't want to say have a heart to heart, but it just helps you like connect with people. Yeah. People connect to music. People, you know, like for me, like music, it's a language. It's a universal language, and it helps you speak and reach out to other people in ways that you couldn't normally, I guess, without it. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You are not alone.
Yeah. I mean, we are social creatures.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you to everyone for watching. This has been a great experience for us. Hopefully you guys had fun experiencing with us. Once again, check out Beyond Our Suffering. It has been amazing having them in with us. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you like and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, go over to YouTube and like and subscribe.
Like the Facebook page.
Yeah, like that shit on Facebook too. But like, you know, we're trying to get that YouTube money too. So if you want to help us out with that, that'd be cool. But my name is Andre,
I'm Ryan.
and thank you for watching the Arizona Breakdown.
It's covering Widowmaker. A black dot, and you can see him like sight reading it. He's like staring at the computer, he's just like going through the